Hello everyone, this is Wasim from Edureka and I welcome you all to this session in which I'm going to talk about Python for DevOps. So let's take a look at the agenda for this session. I will start with various reasons why Python should be used for DevOps, and then I will explain how we can use Python for DevOps. I hope you guys are clear with the agenda. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Edureka for more exciting tutorials and press the bell icon to get the latest updates on Edureka and enroll to Edureka's Python programming certification program. The link is given in the description box below. Now, without wasting any more time, let us begin our session. So, what exactly is DevOps? Let's quickly get a rough idea about what DevOps actually is. The term DevOps is a combination of two words, namely development and operations. So, DevOps is a practice that allows a single team to manage the entire application development life cycle. That is, development, testing, deployment, and monitoring. The ultimate goal of DevOps is to decrease the duration of the system's development lifecycle and updates frequently in close synchronization with business objectives. Also, DevOps is a software development approach with the help of which you can develop superior quality software quickly and with more reliability. It consists of various stages such as continuous development, continuous integration, continuous testing, continuous deployment, and continuous monitoring as well. So let's take a look at a few DevOps tools and these stages. So the first stage is continuous development, and this is the phase that involves planning and coding of the software. So you decide the project vision during the planning phase, and the developers begin developing the code for the application. There are no DevOps tools that are required for planning, but there are a number of tools for maintaining the code. The code can be in any language, but you have to maintain it by using the version control tools. This process of maintaining the code is known as the source code management as well. After the code is developed, then you move on to the continuous integration phase. And the various tools that are used in this stage are Git, SVN, Mercurial, CVS, etc. The next stage is continuous integration, which involves tools like Jenkins, TeamCity, Travis, etc. So, this stage is the core of the entire DevOps lifecycle. It is a practice in which the developers require to commit changes to the source code more frequently. This may be either on a daily or a weekly basis as well. You will then build every commit, and this allows early detection of problems if they are present at all. Now, building code not only involves compilation, but it also includes the code review, the unit testing, integration testing, and packaging as well. So, the code supporting new functionality is continuously integrated with the existing code. Since there is a continuous development of software, you need to integrate the updated code continuously as well as smoothly with the systems to reflect the changes to the end users. And in this stage, you use the tools for building, packaging the code into the executable file so that you can forward it to the next phases. The point of me telling you all this about the DevOps lifecycle is to relate it to Python so that you can understand with all these stages that are required in the DevOps lifecycle, Python is an important part that plays when you use Python with DevOps. So next up is the stage 3, which is continuous testing. And the tools that are required in this stage are Jenkins, Selenium, TestNG, JUnit, etc. So this is the stage where you test the developed software continuously for bugs using automation testing tools. These tools allow QAs or quality analysts to test multiple code bases thoroughly in parallel to ensure that there are no flaws in the functionality. And in this phase, you can use Docker containers for simulating the test environment as well. Selenium is used for automation testing and the reports are generated by TestNG. So you can automate this entire testing phase with the help of a continuous integration tool called Jenkins. Suppose you have written a Selenium code in Java to test your application. Now you can build this code using Ant or Maven. Once you build the code, you can test it for user acceptance testing, and this entire process can be automated using Jenkins. And I'll also tell you how Jenkins can be used with Python as well. Next up is the stage 4, which is continuous deployment. And the tools used in this are for configuration management and containerization. So, for configuration management, we use the tools like Chef, Puppet, Ansible, and for containerization, we use Docker and Vagrant. So, this is the stage where you deploy the code on the production servers. And it is also important to ensure that you correctly deploy the code on all the servers. So before moving on, let us try to understand a few things about configuration management and containerization tools. So these set of tools here are helping in achieving continuous development, which is CD. And configuration management is the act of establishing and maintaining consistency in an application's functional requirements and performance. So let me put it in easier words. It is basically an act of releasing deployments to servers or scheduling updates on all the servers, and most importantly, keeping the configurations consistent across all the servers. Now, on the other hand, containerization tools also play an equally crucial role in the deployment stage. The containerization tools help produce consistency across development, test, staging, as well as production environments. Besides this, they also help in scaling up and scaling down of instances very swiftly. The next stage is the continuous monitoring. So, the tools that we use in this stage are Splunk, ELK Stack, Nagios, and New Relic. So this is a very critical stage of the DevOps lifecycle where you continuously monitor the performance of your application. And here you record vital information about the use of the software. You then process this information to check the proper functionality of the application. You resolve system errors such as low memory, server not reachable, etc. in this phase. And this practice involves the participation of the operations team who will monitor the user activity for bugs or any other improper behavior of the system. The continuous monitoring tools help you monitor the application's performance and also enable you to check the health of the system proactively. So now that we know how DevOps actually work, let us try to understand why Python would be the right choice for DevOps. Python serves as the remedy to any problem in the IT industry. And when it comes to DevOps, the main focus or the ultimate goal is to reduce the time taken in the DevOps lifecycle to improve the efficiency. And Python offers a structural solution in terms of automating the task in each of the stages that I've just discussed with you guys. Now, considering the out of the box features that Python comes with, let us take a look at how Python is one of the best suitable options to work with DevOps. Now, the very first reason is Python is one of the best scripting languages, and the vast variety of Python libraries allows you to write scripts for the improved development lifecycle. The next reason is Python provides structure to write structured and readable automation scripts. After this, the accessibility and the flexibility that Python gives, it also helps in giving an adaptive feature that results in exploring new tools and technologies without any effort. And when it comes to orchestration and infrastructure automation, Python is very useful. Even tools like Ansible and SaltStack are written in pure Python. And due to the ease of learning, Python saves time in building the utilities as well. And even though all the tasks that we do with Python can be achieved with Ruby as well, people still prefer Python because of the easy syntax and readability. Now let us go ahead and take a look at how Python and DevOps actually work together. So the ultimate goal with DevOps is to automate each task in the development life cycle to save time. And with Python modules and libraries, we can do automation using the tools and scripts written in Python. A Python automation script is platform independent and supports multi tool integration, which makes Python a better seeming option. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few ways in which Python and DevOps work together. So you can get some useful functions or properties dynamically by writing a Python script using the Git API module that interacts with the version control system. Now, Git API is a pure Python API to Git that uses the command line interface, which covers the first stage in the DevOps lifecycle. Now, to be able to move environments, we can use the Python since we face a problem with Bash or PowerShell when the CI environment changes. So, what exactly is Bash? Bash is a Unix shell which is command line interface for interacting with an operating system. And any command that you can run from the command line can be used in a Bash script. But in case you have different environment or you have to move to different environments, you can use Python for that. And scripts are used to run a series of commands. Bash is available by default on Linux and Mac OS operating systems, so you have to install it separately if you're working on Windows. So there, Python can be a seemingly easier choice for you if you're working on DevOps. Now coming on PowerShell, Windows PowerShell is a Microsoft framework for automating tasks using a command line shell and an associated scripting language. When it was released in 2006, this powerful tool essentially replaced command prompt as the default way to automate batch processes and create customized system management tools. But if you are moving environments, this is going to be a problem for you where Python will come to your rescue. And that is why you can use Python for DevOps in this stage as well. After this, Python has networking, environment specific, and operating system specific modules like OS and subprocess module that can handle these details and methods. So let's talk about OS module, guys. The OS module in Python provides a way of using operating system dependent functionality. The functions that the OS module provides allows you to interface with the underlying operating system that Python is running on. It can be Windows, Mac, or Linux. The next one is the subprocess module. So the subprocess module present in Python is used to run new applications or programs through Python code by creating new processes. So it also helps to obtain the input, output, error, pipes as well as the exit codes of various commands, which can be a very useful tool when you're working on DevOps. Now, we can implement infrastructure related automation scripts using Python that has their SDKs. The Boto and Google Cloud Storage are the SDK modules for AWS and Google Cloud Platform, respectively. So, what exactly is Boto? Boto, we can call it, is the Amazon Web Services or AWS SDK for Python, and it enables Python developers to create, configure, and manage AWS services such as EC2 and S3. Boto also provides an easy to use object oriented API as well as low level access to AWS services. Coming on to the Google Cloud Storage allows you to store data on Google infrastructure with very high reliability, performance, and availability. And it can be used to distribute large data objects to users via direct download. Coming on to the next few points that Python can be used with DevOps, Python's OpenStack modules deal with all the operations in the public and private clouds of OpenStack. The next one is configuration management tools like Ansible are written in pure Python. So, in order to add any more custom modules that you have to write in DevOps, we write them in Python. So, Python is actually playing a very important part there. And testing frameworks like Selenium can be used for automation testing using Python. And even the web framework, the full stack web framework Django, it can be used for unit test using the built in testing framework as well. Next one is Python has modules for almost all the databases for database management tasks, such as MongoDB, MySQL, PostgreSQL, etc. And DevOps uses Python for deployment with modules like Fabric, FabTools, Cuisine. FabTools includes useful functions to help you write Fabric files, and FabTools makes it easier to manage system users, packages, databases, etc. FabTools mainly includes a number of low-level actions as well as higher-level interface called FabTools. And in cases of deployment using a platform as a service, which is also known as PaaS, we have a Python module called Cloud Foundry Client, which can be used there as well. And the monitoring stages or the monitoring task in the DevOps stages can be managed by Python modules as well. So, when we look at the chronology of the support and the kind of efficiency that Python gives for DevOps, we can clearly see that it handles the complete DevOps lifecycle, starting from the development cycle to the monitoring cycle. And now that we have come to the end of the session, make sure you master both the technologies to understand the in depth support that each of it provides to one another. So we have a Python programming certification course. The link is given in the description box below, guys. So you can enroll into this program to master Python in no time. And also we have a DevOps certification training program that you can take up to master your skills in DevOps as well. And don't forget to subscribe to Edureka for more exciting tutorials and press the bell icon to get the latest updates on Edureka. Thank you.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!